So hello and welcome to all the viewers. So in present video we will discuss about one of the important feature, that is pool. So if you see here on the top of your ribbon toolbar on edit panel, you will find the very important feature, that is pool. Once your sketch is ready, then we will use this pool feature in order to convert that sketch into a 3D model. So it is basically used in order to offset, revolve, sweep, draft, scale, or copy of the objects. In addition to that, it is also used in order to create a round, chamfer, or extrude features. So now the design window, or you can say the graphic window, presents the sketch. I think it is more similar to our last sketch which we created in last module for a sketching section. I did only few changes here. Just I created a rectangle by removing fillet, by removing circles. Okay. Now we will see what are the different parameters when we use to uh, this pool feature. Okay. So as we know that in order to go 3D, there are two ways. Either you can click on the 3D model or you can click on the pool feature. Now we are clicking on the pool feature. So as name suggests that here we need to something surface we need to pull. So as we saw that in a sketch module there are edges in the tree. Now it is converted into surfaces. Now when we will do this pull, it will further convert into a 3D model. So let's start with this cylinder face. So in order to pull that, you just need to click that surface, and once you will click, you will find a mini toolbar which indicates a features like we can add, subtract, and then we can pull on the both sides. And there are two ways to pull, like you can define a ruler or you can define up to. Okay, up to that, when there are other features are there, so you can pull that up to that respective feature. So let's drag this up to some extent, and then later on you can define a dimension, that is 10 mm. Okay, now let's pull this face also. Like you can pull like on upside. If you want to go downside, then you can pull in the downward directions. At present we will pull upper side and we'll put the value of 15 mm. Now once you will pull, you have pulled that, you will come to know that earlier cylinder was up to 10 mm. Now it is 15 mm. Suppose you want to move to up to 10 mm, then in that case you just further need to click over here, and here at the last you will find up to feature. So click over here and just define the respective rectangle. Similarly, we can repeat this for this, and we will further pull this, and here we can use up to this respective face. Now if you see here, earlier there was a edge, and now this edge is not present. So that is what the advantage of this space claim. So here you no need to go to your sketch in order to do the changes. So that's why it is called as a direct modeling tool. Okay. Now we'll further do some pull operations, like here you can press control button and select another surface. So at a time you can select two faces or more than two, and then you can do the pull operations. Now let's put 15 mm. Okay. So now we have created two features, rectangles. Suppose you want to do further changes, then you can select all the four faces and you can see the cursor and you can move up or down. So if you see, both the features are moving on either side. So similarly, if you want to create another face like this on the downward side, you can define the dimensions. So it is possible, like you can work on the both the feature on either side with this pull feature. Then control Z. Okay. So now we will discuss about few more things. Now let's talk about the pull for respective circle face. Now it is not as simple as that. So when you pull axis, when you pull face, when you pull edge, all three are different. So how it is like that? So let's select this face. Now if you pull this, you can define the dimensions, like we will put 5 mm or Control Z. If you want to pull something like this, you can pull like that, right? Now if you want to further pull this and you want to make up to, then you can use this radius and you will find the change over here. That is a surface pulling. Now let's talk about if you want to pull this edge. Click on that. Now when you pull this, it creates a round like that. Now when you pull this, Control Z, when you pull axis, then what it will does, it will create a slot like you can find over here. You can define the dimension of 15 mm and then it will create a slot. Okay, what we did, we just created the pull option for the axis. So all three features, like pull for face, pull for axis and pull for edge, in case of circle is different. Okay, now let's talk about few more features. Like here, if you see on the right hand side on the tool, as this, these are the features which we created on the sketch. Now you can simply delete that, and here whatever the features which we are creating, it's automatically convert into the one solid. That is what the advantage of it. Now let's talk about pulling the respective inclined face, or you can say the straight face, how it would works for the straight face. Now let's pull this, click on that, and now when you drag on this side, you will find how it is moving. You just have a look on that. So it is moving with respect to the certain angle for the adjacent faces. Now when you select this edge, then now you will find how it will move. Now if you see, it is moving in a horizontal direction because we selected that edge. Now when you Control Z and let's select another edge and then drag this. When you drag like that, you will find it is moving in a horizontal directions along that two edges. So it is all based on what you selected. Like here we selected one face and two edges. Okay, now let's put here a 5 mm. It created on either side. Let's drag this inside. Let's first do Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Okay, now let's create, select this face, select this face, and we will drag inside by 5 mm. Now you will find feature like this. So let's click on the home page. Okay, so that is your pull feature is based on what you selected. Now next we will discuss about, we will create few more features, like we will create here a circle and then we'll discuss further a pull feature. So in order to create circle, just select that face, go to sketch mode, and here it's automatically, if you click on the plane view, you will find and we can create the circles. So here on a display, you can even change this grid. If you want that features, then it will show when you click on this grids feature. So it will be useful to you to see others features, and you can take the reference for that respective features in order to create these geometries. Just click on the plane view, go to design tab, select the, let's further select and create a 6 mm of hole. Okay, now further go to select pool. Now if you see here, click on this face, and when you drag on the positive side, it will create a cylinder. When you drag on the negative side, it will create a slot. Okay, so in order to create slot, in order to create hole, it pull is useful. Now let's talk about further. We can select the axis and let's create a sketch, plan view, and here we can furthermore create one rectangle like this. Like define 15 mm. So we are creating this rectangular. Then further go to pool face. Now if you see here, this rectangle is created a surface. Edges are converted into surface. Now we can use this to drag. Now you will find it is creating a further solid and it is merging with this. Now when you pull on other side, then you will find it is creating a slot. Okay, Control Z. Further click here and you can use cut option on either side. Then you can drag that. Just define the dimensions. Now what is creating? It is creating a solid. Just select that face. What we want to cut, and we want to cut, or we can create a slot like this. Okay, now what we did, we created a surface rectangle, and with that we created a slot at this respective rectangular region. So that is what one of the feature of pool. So here you can even create a slot with the help of pool feature. Now let's talk about further. As we have created slot, now there is one more feature here. If you see a draft, now what does it mean? That now you suppose you want to create some draft that is basically used for a manufacturing, for casting purpose. Now let's click on this, and here very first it will pick up the plane to drafts. Let's pick up this plane and then select the face, and here you can create a draft like this. Let's put 5 angle, 5 mm. Now you can find here a draft is created. If you want, you can even increase that 25 mm. Okay, so that is what the use of draft feature. Now let's Control Z, redo. Now there is one more feature. Okay, let's click on the home further, and I think we discussed draft. Sweep, we know that here we need to create a trajectory and we can define the line, then we can easily create a sweep. Revolve is as similar to our previous. Now suppose select this face, you want to revolve this face, click on that and you can define the respective revolve. It is as simple as that. Control Z. Let's revolve this face further. Click on the revolve. Select this axis. Select this face. Let's zoom that further. Select. Go to pool. Then here, as we know that revolve, very first it will pick up. Click on the revolve. Pick the trajectory to sweep along. So we can select this. Okay, I think we selected sweep. We need to select, go to select pool, and here this is revolve. So here very first it will ask for axis, and then once you have selected the axis, then it will ask you to select the face. Then you can select that face and you can define the angle. Like here we can define 180 degree. Now you will find the use of revolve feature. Okay, let's do Control Z. Now that is all about your revolve, draft, sweep, okay, and pull. There are few more things like round and chamfer. We forgot to discuss that, so let's discuss furthermore. So now let's talk about our round feature. So in order to do that, so just select both the face and make it up to. So we are just eliminating that. Now we will see the use of round. So here if you see this edge, select these two edges and you can simply do the pull options. So now you can see, if you can define the dimensions, or you can simply drag like this. Now as we know that it is 1 mm, so it's automatically taken by that pulling directions. Now let's here, and here you can define 1 mm. Okay. Now there is one more thing. In order to create pull or cycle full round, just select one face, another face, third face. Okay, you selected right click, and then you will find first select one face, another face, third face, right click, and here full round. Okay, so first, second, third, third one, right click, full round. So either you can do manually, you can define by ruler, or you can do simply a full round. Now let's talk about round for this complete geometries. Okay, now here we can define the round, just simply putting like 2 mm or 3 mm you can define, or 1 mm. 2 mm is higher one, so we can just put less value like 0.5, right? Now similarly, if you want, you can define for this also inside one, and you can even define for these features. And here put round 0.5, like. Now here we can even define round for this, this, this. So simultaneously also it is possible to define the round. And here you can define the dimensions, so like 2 mm or whatever you want, right? Now if you see here, it is created a round, and here when you click on this face, you will find there are different features like sweep around center, sweep on middle corner, and you can find blended middle corner. So you can check all these features, right? And you can change. Similarly, I will explain one more time. So if you see here, click over here, and here you have different features, like if you want corner like this, if you want corner like that, middle corner, if you want sweep around corner, then you can click on that, then it will automatically calculate the. So it is also useful for us to avoid the meshing issues, because we know that if the feature is like that, then it will create a problem for the meshing. So that's why this is very useful to create a proper mesh. Okay, now let's talk about here also. You can define a round, just put 1 mm, right? Now as we saw that, I will explain one more time. When you want to create a slot, then you just simply use features like this. In order to create a slot, select this axis, click on both sides, and then you can simply define the dimensions 5 mm. Then you will find your slot is ready. Okay, now we will see furthermore a chamfer is as similar to this. So let's do Control Z, and let's do chamfer now. So if you select this all, I will do further redo. Select the complete edge, and here on the mini toolbar you will find the chamfer options. So click on that, and you can define the chamfer like 1 mm, 2 mm, whatever the chamfer you want. Similarly, select all this, and you can define the chamfer of 0.5, 1 mm as per your convenience. Okay. Now similarly, if you want chamfer for this, just click on that and create a small chamfer, right? Similarly, if you want chamfer for these two holes, just drag that. This is round one. Control Z, select this edge, select the chamfer, pull that and define the chamfer. Similarly, define the chamfer for this face. Okay. So I think that's it, guys. We saw the use of pull feature. We discussed about pull of single surface, pulling of multiple surface. We also discuss draft. We discuss how to revolve. We also discuss how to create a feature slot and how to create a corner as well as chamfer. Okay, in next video we will discuss about the move features. So once you will learn all these features, then we will create a 3D sketch, 3D drawing, or you can say 3D model with the help of 2D sketch. So we'll start that bracket modeling, and then like that we will move towards to learn all these panels so that you will confident on Spaceclaim. So thank you.